Imagine everything in your life being taken from you. Your home, your money, your identity, your freedom. Imagine being placed in a condition where every morning begins with the question of whether you will survive the day. Only one question remains. What is the reason to keep living? That question is the heart of this book, and in its own quiet way, it is the same question your own life keeps asking you. This book does not teach you how to be happy. It teaches you how to stay alive in the middle of pain. Because the truth is, people are not broken by circumstances alone. They break when they can no longer understand why they are living. The author of this book had lost everything. He saw what no human being should ever have to see. But he held on to one thing, a truth powerful enough to change any life. He saw that the people who had a reason to live were able to endure even the deepest suffering, and those who had no reason began to die inside long before their bodies gave up. From that comes one unsettling truth. Your strength is not hidden in your body. It is hidden in your meaning. When you understand why you are living, you can survive almost anyhow. But if you do not understand that, then even with everything around you, you can still remain empty inside. This book makes you realize that circumstances do not decide your life. What you choose in the face of those circumstances is what shapes your life. The world can take almost everything from you, but there is one thing it cannot take: your attitude. That is the greatest weapon this book gives you. It does not sell you dreams. It teaches you how to stand when your dreams have been shattered. And if you truly understand that, you will no longer need motivation. A reason will be born within you, and a person who has a reason becomes greater than any circumstance. You may think the outside world causes you the deepest pain, but the truth is, what breaks a person most is the emptiness inside. When life is moving smoothly, that emptiness stays hidden. But the moment life begins to press down on you, that emptiness comes to the surface. That is why two people can face the same situation, yet one collapses while the other becomes stronger. This book offers a deeply important idea. Everyone has pain. Not everyone has meaning. And where there is no meaning, pain turns into poison. You may have experienced this in your own life. You worked hard and still did not get the result. You trusted someone close to you and were betrayed. You wanted so much and received almost nothing. In that moment, what hurt most? Was it simply that you did not get what you wanted, or was it that you could not understand why it happened at all? This book says that human beings do not suffer most from pain itself. They suffer most from pain that feels meaningless. If you know what direction your suffering is taking you, that same suffering can become your strength. This is the deepest truth of the book. Circumstances do not break you. The meaning you give those circumstances can break you. When a person believes they are only a victim of what has happened, they lose. But when they realize that even inside those conditions, they still have something they can choose, they become free. You cannot control everything, but one thing always remains in your hands: the way you think. And that way of thinking can change the entire direction of your life. This book does not tell you that pain is good. It says that if pain has entered your life, it may still be possible to give it meaning. And the day you begin to see meaning in your pain, your weakness begins to turn into your greatest strength. That is why this book is not merely read, it is felt.
does not promise to change your life. It gives you the strength to endure life. And in the end, that strength is what changes life. When a person breaks, they are not really broken by circumstances. They are broken by the question, why did this happen to me? That question multiplies pain. A quiet but powerful truth is revealed. No one can take away a person's freedom unless that person gives it up. Life can take many things from your hands: money, relationships, respect, dreams. But there is one thing no one can take: your attitude. How you respond will always remain in your hands. That is why some people remain calm even in broken circumstances, while others have everything and still feel shattered inside. You may have seen this yourself. A small setback can destroy one person, while that same setback awakens another. The difference is not the situation. The difference is the mind of the person standing inside that situation. Again and again, this book teaches that people are wounded most deeply by what they cannot understand. When pain feels useless, it becomes a burden. But when pain begins to reveal a purpose, that same pain starts turning into strength. At some point in life, every person thinks, I cannot endure anymore. But this book says that the human capacity to endure is far greater than we usually believe. A person does not truly break until they surrender inside. And surrender is not simply the result of injury. Surrender is a decision. When you understand that you are not a slave to your circumstances, that you are only standing within them, the entire game of life changes. What happened to you is not your identity. What you do with that experience becomes your identity. This book teaches that people are not afraid of pain itself. They are afraid of the emptiness where pain has no answer. And the day you learn to answer your pain, pain can no longer break you. It gives you depth.
Some wounds cannot be seen, yet they quietly consume a person from within. This book begins where most people stop. When a person loses everything, only one question remains. What is the meaning of living now? This is the point where most people give up. But this book presents a strange truth. The meaning of life is not simply found. The meaning of life is chosen. Everyone thinks, once my situation improves, then I will become strong. But the truth works in the opposite direction. First, you must become strong. Only then do circumstances begin to change. There is a very deep idea hidden here. You will not have an answer to every question, but you must learn to live with every question. The person who waits for pain to end remains trapped in pain, but the person who asks what they must become inside that pain is the one who moves forward. Worm and grounded. If life has broken you, it does not mean life is against you. Sometimes life breaks a person so they can emerge from the version of themselves they had become. Clear and serious. This book teaches that one of the greatest mistakes a person makes is to treat happiness as a right and suffering as a punishment. But the truth is, suffering is a responsibility. It is a call. It is a signal that you must now grow larger from within. Gentle conviction. The person who understands that every day does not have to be happy, but every day must have meaning, is the person who does not break. Direct and calm. Do not ask life what it has given you. Ask yourself what you can become with what life has given you. Warm lift. When a person realizes that their existence is not only meant for comfort, but for a reason, even the heaviest circumstances begin to feel lighter. Measured and philosophical.
This book says that no matter what the situation may be, the freedom to choose meaning remains alive inside a human being. And the day you recognize that freedom, no prison can truly hold you. Section Reset. Grounded. People often believe that the conditions they are facing today are their entire life. That is the greatest illusion. Quiet intensity. This book slowly opens a difficult truth. Slow, clear. Your circumstances are not your identity. How you stand before them becomes your identity. Controlled emphasis. The world does not break a person through pain alone. It breaks a person through the thought that nothing is left. Softer, serious. When someone believes everything is over, that is the moment they begin to die inside. Encouraging, gradual lift. But this book says that if there is still something within you that waits, if there is still someone you think of, some work you dream of, some meaning you long for, then you are still alive. And not only alive, somewhere inside you, a reason is still hidden. Steady, explanatory. People think strength will come first and then they will be able to endure. But the truth is, strength comes through enduring. Low, firm. The person who says, "I will bear this," is the person who passes through even impossible conditions. Reflective, not rushed. This book also teaches that the person who runs from pain begins to find pain everywhere. But the person who sits in front of pain and begins to understand it is the one who rises above it. Chapter-like reset. A time comes in every human life when a choice must be made. Measured contrast. Either I blame my circumstances or I allow something new to be born within me. Pause a 0.5 seconds. And that choice changes everything. Firm but compassionate. No one is coming to save you. No miracle will arrive from outside. But if the thought is born within you that despite everything that has happened, you still must move forward, then understand this. The direction of the story has already begun to change. Brief breath. Again and again, this book explains one thing. Everything can be taken from a person, but not their attitude. Warm conviction. And the day you understand that your attitude is your greatest strength, life stops frightening you in the same way. Softer, intimate. You are not weak. You have simply not yet given the right meaning to your pain. And the day you turn your pain into a reason, your story may give someone else the courage to keep living. Major thesis setup, lower pitch. Now listen to the deepest, most powerful truth in this book. Pause 0.7 seconds. The meaning of life is not handed to you. You have to create it yourself. Reflective, slightly quicker through examples. People spend their whole lives asking, why did this happen to me? Why is my life so difficult? Why did pain come to me? But this book asks a different question. Now that it has happened, what will you do with it? Lower pitch. That question decides your destiny. Measured. Pain by itself is neither good nor bad. Pause 0.4 seconds. Pain is an empty page. Clear, deliberate. You decide what will be written on it. You decide whether it will break you or build you. Calm authority. This book says it clearly. Steady, serious. The person who turns their pain into the belief that life has been unfair will spend life as a victim. Subtle lift. But the person who turns that same pain into the realization that now they must do something becomes a leader. Direct and grounded. You do not need motivation, you need a reason. Because a person without a reason breaks, but once a reason is found, that same person can endure almost anything. Lower pitch, thoughtful. This book says that if you have a reason to live, the fear of dying loses its power. Measured contrast. That is why some people can lose everything and still smile, while others can have everything and still remain empty inside. Pause a 0.5 seconds. Meaning is not in things. Short pause. Meaning is not in circumstances. Warm emphasis. Meaning is inside you, in the decision you make every day. Rhythmic but natural. Avoid sing-song. Every morning when you wake up, you decide. Slight rise, reflective question. Will I surrender today, or will I search for meaning? Pause a 0.5 seconds. And remember, searching for meaning is not easy. Lower pitch, human warmth. But that is what makes a human being truly human. Soft, personal. If you were going through pain today, through loss, through emptiness, this book says only one thing to you. Pause a please 6 seconds. Do not run. Firm but gentle. Stop. Understand. Decide what this pain must become. Warm, meaningful landing. Because the same pain that is breaking you today may one day help someone else stay alive. Reflective closing begins. If these words have reached something deep inside you, if it feels as though this book is speaking your own story, then this is a book worth reading, not just to finish it, but to understand it. Pause a 0.6 seconds. And if there is one thought to carry with you, let it be this. Slow, resolved. I will not give up. Clean ending, warm conviction. Because the day you make that decision with your whole heart, your life slowly begins to turn in a different direction.